Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey here on iFiber One News Radio. I have some great guests in studio with me today. We're talking with Jerry Grubs and Paul Owens from the Gravity Learning Center, which is located in the Mason County, the Mason Transit Authority's Transit Community Center. There we go. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Thanks for coming on the air with me and talking about this. I'm looking online at esd113.org/gravity. We'll put those links in our show notes today. But the Gravity Learning Center is a school designed to re-engage students who have left school for a variety of reasons. Tell me a little bit about what Gravity Learning Center can do for the kids and is doing for the kids in Mason County.
Well, we've been here about 5 years ago. They passed the Open Doors law to encourage school districts to create programs to get those kids that were dropping out. Mm-hmm. They were going to college. They weren't in high school. They needed some support and help. And so ESD 113 organized Gravity. Okay. And we put in locations around the South Sound, including Shelton, which is one of our earlier locations, with the goal of reaching those kids that have left school but still have needs and hopes and dreams. And our job is to find those guys and girls and get them back in school.
Paul, how's the partnership been with the Transit Community Center?
Oh, wonderful. They're really supportive, and they've been really good about letting people know we're there, and it's been a great relationship.
I'd imagine the community center a good place to have something like this. If kids perhaps don't have their driver's license or are unable to get from here or there, they don't have a vehicle, they can take the bus.
Absolutely. So
yeah, and we've all of our different locations, we've worked real hard to get near a transit center, kind of a hub of the community, so that those students know where we're at and can easily get to us.
Grace Harbor, Lewis, Mason, Thurston County, and North Thurston are some of the areas. The Gravity stands for GED plus Re-engagement, Alternative Vocational Individualized Training for Youth.
Yes, thank you for telling. I often mess that up.
No, just kidding.
That's a mouthful, but you've pared it down to Gravity. So let's talk about the curriculum. How are these kids moving forward after they've enrolled with this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happens is they come in and they just take basically a placement test, and often, well, always, they're credit deficient, so they're not going to graduate in a normal circumstance for a number of years. Mm-hmm. So they come in and we assess what's happening, more or less, why that didn't take place. And then we help them sort of get used to the idea that they can do it, that they can test out, that they can get their diploma and or the GD, mm-hmm. and that that whatever happened before really isn't affecting them now. That they can move on. That this is their chance to have one-on-one help.
Oh wow! And
to really see their future. A lot of students that come to us from whatever circumstance really don't have a sense that they're going to go anywhere. And that's the main thing we start with, is to say, yeah, you can do this, and you can move on, and here's your options. And so that's kind of the beginning.
Do you look more as a fresh start moving forward, or do you focus on some of the past events perhaps in their life to kind of help them move in a direction?
Fresh start moving forward, because really it doesn't matter what happened before.
Yeah.
And they really need to get the mindset that they're moving on to something else.
Oh, okay.
And for a lot of people, they're just stuck in that idea that I can't do this, or they have some fears or different things based on individual students. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, fresh start.
Interesting.
Yeah, our conversations with our students from the very beginning are about, when you get your GED, what are we going to be doing next?
Okay.
What are you going to be going to a vocational school? Are we helping you get a job? Are we helping you move on to South Puget Sound or Olympic College or Evergreen? That's our conversation from the very beginning. It's like, we assume you're going to get your GED, And then what is going to happen? And one thing I would like people to know is that the GED is a fairly rigorous test. It was changed in 2014 and completely revamped and upgraded, and it's a very difficult and demanding test. So a lot of people think that, that's an easy fix.
Sure.
I'll just go out and get my GED and move on. But those students really have to work, and they have to study, and they have to really meet all those objective standards that they would in a high school.
Other than the learning towards getting your GED, what are some of the other in other ways that your teachings? Do you teach, I don't know, like financial literacy? That's kind of a big thing these days, or things like that.
So we've tried to diversify our curriculum and not just exclusively focus on the GED, because that's the big hook that brings them in the door, really, and gets them talking to us, and most of our students are doing that. But we also discovered that there are a lot of students who come to us with 18, 19 credits, right? Very close to graduation, but life happened, and they ended up out of school. And so we've brought in some online curriculum that we're able to use with them to get them any courses they need if they want to re-engage and get back and get their diploma.
Okay.
So we can bring them back to the Shelton schools and work with them and work on their diploma, and we're doing that and have a couple of kids in every region that are doing that. And then there's the miscellaneous courses that we work on, life kind of things, job readiness, college readiness. We haven't developed a financial literacy course yet, but we've discussed that too. So there's all those kind of life skills things that we try to incorporate as we're able to as well.
You talked about some real close work with the students, perhaps one-on-one in many situations. So what is the teacher-student ratio there, and how does all that work?
Well, let's see. Legally, I think there's a student-to-teacher ratio, but often we are one-to-one with students. And since we're not in a situation where we have a classroom or set times for things, we really can facilitate with a student what works best for them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's part of the real strength in the program, is the time flexibility. Because students we have who are working, have families, have medical issues, all different kinds of things, they need to have flexibility to come in and work with us. So we are always, at least in Mason County, working one-on-one with students.
I see here on the website that is you can get in at any time of the year. So jump in when you're ready, and doesn't have to be a September.
We're there all summer long.
Wow.
We're there all the time. So, and that was part of the design of the program, is to be available, because that's one of the issues that happens with students. Summer hits, and they disappear.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter when or what season or everything, you can come in and we can make it happen.
Let's get it started.
Yeah. I think the title of the law is pretty descriptive. It's an open doors re-engagement, and we have our doors open. You show up today, we'll start teaching you, and we're a drop-in center. Right. So what that does is, for kids who have not been very, they've kind of been beat down by life and the system, they show up when they're ready to learn. So we have kids around the region that have had troubles, had behavior problems, had all kinds of situations, who show up ready to learn because they showed up when they were ready to learn. And it's very exciting to see a transformation in kids that were down and hopeless. And in just a few days or months, they start to transform, and it's very exciting to see that they have this hope that they didn't have before.
When the kids want to get engaged, what do they need to bring in? How do they get started in this?
Well, they just need to often have the basic information that any school district needs, But we don't really hold back. We're pretty much are there to get them started immediately.
Yeah.
So we don't stand back and say, well, we need this or that. We usually get the materials and get them going. Mm-hmm. And the other part of that is that we deal with a lot of homeless students as well.
Okay.
And homeless students really don't need to have all the paperwork in order, because of the McKinney-Vento law. They can start immediately, and that's perfectly okay with us. And so we do serve a number of homeless students.
There are a couple locations throughout the Washington here, in Aberdeen on Cherry Street, in Chehalis on Prindle, in Olympia, Columbia Street in downtown, Shelton here at West Franklin Street at the home of the Transit Community Center, and in Lacey on 6th Avenue Southeast. If you want to find out more information about this, esd113.org/gravity. Again, we'll put those links in the show notes here today. Jerry Grubs and Paul Owens from the Gravity Learning Center, just part of the great things that are happening at the Transit Community Center. Thanks for coming on the air with me today.
Yeah, it was our pleasure.
Nice talking with you guys.